Oviads onto Ezequiel Palacios. Into Boniface. Lovely turn. Victor Boniface. Explosive from the striker. Another shot on goal so far for them on target. Here though is Denchi. Now they have a shot on target and they've levelled the game. Edmond Tapsoba to find Palacios. Oh, what a pass in here for Hoffman, and they have the lead back. It's a super pass. It's Amin Adli, rolled across towards Frimpong. Alex Grimaldo's shot beaten away by Müller, who now hangs on to it. They claim a penalty.
I just remember a week ago when Bayern played against Leverkusen, and Leverkusen got exactly the same penalty.
Victor Boniface, what have you got from the spot? Victor Boniface down the middle to make it 3-1 for Leverkusen.
I think you just need 3 new players in the offensive.
That was Victor Boniface doing wonders as he has been doing at the beginning of this new season. Of course, when you hear the name Victor, what comes to mind is the original Victor, if I can use that word. But this new Victor is also a Nigerian and he's doing wonders. That was Victor Osimhen of from the German league there of Bayer Leverkusen, banging goals for fun, scoring brilliant goals and ending defenders and ensuring they do have a nightmare. We are going to be talking about him alongside other Nigerian players that are doing great things for themselves in Europe. And we are going to be talking about the most followed league in the world, which is the English Premier League. We're also going to be talking about the La Liga. And we are not going to be forgetting Formula One and the wonders that Max Verstappen is doing. You are welcome to this beautiful edition of Punch Sport Extra on this wonderful Monday. My name is Segun Odunayo. As usual, I'm not alone on the show, and I have with me a very wonderful strike partner, as solid as Victor Boniface on the pitch of play. His name is Ebenezer Bajela. You are all smiles this morning.
Yeah, well, good afternoon, Segun. Good afternoon to our viewers out there. Well, you know, when you have Nigerians doing very well, you know, in the top leagues, it gives you nothing but joy because we know how our players are being criticized when they're not doing very well. So now that they are doing absolutely well, they also deserve every accolade that comes their way. And then Victor Boniface is the rave of the moment, man of the moment, banging in goals.
For fun.
For fun. And, you know, so far, is the only man who has been able to, you know, put Kylian Mbappe where he belongs. And even online, a lot of people were actually in support of Victor Boniface. We also what happened between the two guys. No, that was Terry Murphy.
Yeah, Terry Murphy.
That's it. That's when you have your players.
I think we have an array of superstars.
Well.
In fact, our strikers at the moment can probably only be compared to Brazilian strikers.
Yes.
Because our Brazilians are our strikers are on fire.
Yes.
Victor.
We have Terry Murphy, Victor Boniface, Awoni,
Taiwo Awoni, even
Desert is also doing very well with
forgetting Peter Olayinka as well.
Most of them.
Let's go to the other Victor, the popular Victor, the known Victor, whose team have not really been doing too good this season, and it could have gotten them all 3 points at the weekend. He got a penalty and he missed. Well, the commentator said it looks like Napoli cannot score a penalty.
Well, it's one of those things that happen. Well, you really can't blame Osimhen. See, and I remember there was a time, and even till he retired, it never happened. We all know how prolific Thierry Henry was back then. And having scored 49 European goals, he was looking for the 50th goal. He kept trying. He kept trying, and it was like the pressure was on him. And after so many years, he couldn't even get the 50th goal. So I'm not saying we're having the same situation with Victor Osimhen right now, but I'm just trying to do a comparative analysis here. He banged a lot of goals for Napoli last season. He was actually the main man. Why they were able to end their 3 decades wait for the Scudetto title, and he started the season on fire, banging goals in the first 3 matches. Then something happened.
There was a seize.
It just happened. 1, 2, 3. he couldn't
Which
score,
is unusual.
Which is unusual.
I mean,
now, he had gone 3 matches without a goal. And he saw a penalty. Yeah, Osimhen had not really been known
to be a fantastic penalty taker.
Yeah. Remember when we played Ghana at the Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abuja? People were asking, how come it was Trustekong who took the penalty? For me, of course, it's something they must have discussed in the dressing room. They train together, so they know how good each player
can be.
So for Trustekong to have taken the bold step to take the penalty, that sends a message. Even with Napoli, Osimhen last season he took only 1 penalty.
There was a time people were saying, why was Para taking all the penalties?
Exactly.
Why didn't they give it to Osimhen?
So now,
probably they decided, okay, this time you are a top guy, take the penalty.
The penalty yesterday was their first this season, and they allowed Osimhen probably just to help him end the 3-goal, end the 3-match goals drought. And unfortunately, it couldn't happen.
All right, very quickly, we move away from Nigeria. But of course, if we go into analyzing all our guys on the European stage, we probably will not end. But you just got a little bit of quick analysis. Victor Osimhen, Victor Boniface, the banger boy at the moment. Peter Layenka himself is not doing badly. There's Ademola Lookman for Atalanta, who is also waking up. Terence Murphy last week showed Paris Saint-Germain what exactly was going on. And just tells you that we have an array of striking opportunities and options in the world at the moment. Very quickly, we move on to La Liga. Before we move on to the Premier League, which everybody's most likely interested in. Atletico Madrid 3, Real Madrid 1.
Wow.
Celta Vigo 2, 84 minutes, and that game ended 3-2 in favor of Barcelona. I was not watching, but I was following the game online, and I saw 2-0. It's over.
Well,
a substitution by Rafael Benitez. Iago Aspas out. 3 goals in, 3 points for Barcelona.
Fortunately, I watched the 2 matches.
I watched the second game.
I love La Liga so much, even more than the EPL. So I watched the 2 games, and let me say, Xavi would just be happy wherever.
Was he lucky?
He was. No, I said he would be happy.
Was he lucky in that game?
No, he wasn't lucky. The players, their attitude won the game for Barcelona.
Was the Iago Aspas substitution the key to the Barcelona?
Definitely, that was the turning point. Because while Aspas was on the pitch, it was a threat to the Barca defense. Xavi got it all wrong from the start. And we all know how Celta Vigo, we know how they play. They like to sit back, hit you on the counter. Well,
and they have boys that can run.
When you have player like Iago Aspas, who he knows how to do damage. So you just have to be careful. And the first goal, it was involved in everything. Unfortunately, the only thing that had eloped him so far this season is the fact that he has not been able to score goal. But he's there to break the door, but he's been given the assist. And against Barcelona, it was everywhere. He tormented the defense. And even at the start of the second half, Xavi had to introduce Araujo, who has been out for a couple of weeks. Still, it didn't work. And it was so easy for Celta to break their defense. Then what happened? Okay, Celta scored the second goal. And for Rafa Benitez, everyone thought that was the end.
Took your key man out of the game.
And that was a costly mistake.
But that was almost towards the end of the match.
You
don't expect your boys to hold the game.
In football, they say it is not over until it is over.
With 2 goals.
With just 14 minutes to the end of the game.
Exactly.
He thought, this is already done and dusted.
3 points in the bag.
He removed Iago Aspas. He decided to bring in more body in the defense. And see, when you have players like your Felix, Gudogan on the field, Robert Lewandowski, these are quality players who can do the damage.
Any day, anytime.
And Barca scored 2 goals in the space of 3 minutes.
Exactly.
And all they need, they didn't even they never waited for the additional minute. They even scored the winning goal just a minute before the final whistle. And that was all.
That was magical.
And if they had lost that game, it would have been a big blow for them, because yesterday we saw what happened in the Madrid derby.
What went wrong with Real Madrid? Did Ancelotti make a tactical blunder?
Well, for Madrid so far, their story had been narrow escape. They've always they've been relying on their main man, Bellingham, to save them. But unfortunately, the Englishman was not there yesterday to save them. I think what Simeone did yesterday was, we know how strong Jimenez is. All he did was Jimenez, to mark him. And he did that very well.
You don't think the change of substitution sorry, I said substitution. Change of tactics, change of formation by Carlo Ancelotti destroyed the game for Real Madrid from the beginning. There was no Joselu. He changed a winning. Nobody changes a winning formation.
The problem with the game yesterday was because initially, a lot of people are not even aware Vinicius was supposed to play that game.
He was.
He was in the starting. He was in the starting lineup.
Then
he
trained. He was out.
Then he had a stomach bug before the game. So for coach, that is a big problem because you already had your game plan worked out. Now, few minutes before the game, you have to quickly change, and you are playing a team like Atletico Madrid, a very defensive side, and Morata has been in fine form so far this season. Yeah. We saw he did it with the Spanish national team as well.
3 goals.
Yesterday,
scoring for club and country.
Madrid tried to come back into the game the way they've been doing so far. This season, they conceded the first goal. They hit you before the end of the first half. Then the moment the second half starts, they get back into the game. But Diego Simeone knew what Madrid were going to do. So he just instructed the guy. Let's see if we can get the killer goal immediately. They goal in like just 34 seconds into the start of the second half. Alvaro Morata scored, and Atletico, they did what they know how to do best. Okay, that sit back and absorb the pressure.
Do we still have a race in La Liga, or you think it's down?
Come on, it's still early days. Yeah. It's just 6 matches into the season.
Yeah.
A lot of matches to play. We still have like 32 matches to go.
Come on, it's a long way.
It's still a long way to go.
All right, very quickly we move to the English Premier League. Where Manchester City have continued to keep dominance over that league, because right now it looks like they are going to they are going to be floating on the sea, just like the boat does. Arsenal drew with Spurs. That's actually their biggest opponent and their biggest competition this season. Drew, lost 2 points. Liverpool did win, but if you ask me, I do not think Liverpool are a big threat to Manchester City as much as Arsenal. Very quickly, we go into the game now. Let's start with Liverpool. They were a goal down.
Yeah.
And then, before we could say Jack Robin. No, I think, no, it was Mo Salah that scored first.
Mo Salah scored the first.
Penalty.
Then Nunes, who has been in 5
Jarrod Bowen equalized 1-1. Then Nunes scored, and then Diego Jota.
Well, I think the difference between this Liverpool and the Liverpool of this season and that of last season is the fact that we've seen the Liverpool who has that attitude and the fighting spirit. I don't know what happened to them last season. Probably fatigue, because once they are down, they keep going down.
Yeah, but this
season
is not over.
We've seen them in one or two other matches. They concede first
and they come back.
And yesterday, despite the equalizer, they never let their guard down.
Yeah.
And they continue pushing. The man of the moment, I think, is just trying to make a statement telling Jurgen Klopp that I deserve to start in every game, just as every other player. And that is Nunes. I prefer to call him the forgotten man, because we knew there was a time he was never even considered to be in the starting lineup. But so far, he's been doing very well, and he's been getting the goals for Liverpool. And you never can tell. It's still a long season.
Yeah.
Manchester City, they are dominant at the moment. They've been scoring the goals, and they are the only side in the top leagues with 100% record. 100% record. They are the only team.
6 wins out of 6.
Yeah, 6 wins out of the. Madrid would have joined them, but they lost yesterday. Yeah. So, but it's still a long way to go. You never can tell. An injury to Haaland might just change everything.
KDB is injured. That team is still flourishing.
Yeah.
Guardiola found the information by getting the pair up front, Haaland up front, Alvarez behind him, Foden right there. And somehow it's still working. The unit is still delivering.
No, the beauty of that team is take away the starting 11. Then go to the bench. You can still feel a very strong starting 11. They even know the funniest thing. A lot of people are not even talking about Grealish, who has not been playing.
This season, he has not been
playing.
Looks like he's not
Remember, it was exactly the same scenario that played out last season. He was not part of the starting 11 the first quarter. Then it was all about Phil Foden.
And then
Foden picked up an injury. And then Grealish came. And he played to the end of the season. Now we're having the same scenario playing out. And if you look at every position, look at Ake didn't even start yesterday. He came in as a second-half substitute. Look at every department. No one is even talking about Mahrez, who left the team. Gundogan also left for Barcelona. They still have a very competitive
on Saturday,
team.
the Rodri.
Yes.
But and looking at Guardiola and knowing Guardiola, you're probably just feeling him and will probably not miss him for
for Rodri, and there's this. He just had that moment of madness.
Yes.
Yeah, permit me to say that.
Yes.
I don't think, and I'm sure you agree with me that we've never seen Rodri act.
He has always been a gentleman.
He has always been a gentleman. Yes, always a gentleman. But we don't know what and the player said to him that got him upset. But that is one thing about them. They are role model. They just need to keep their cool every time.
All right, very quickly, we move to the North London derby. Shared points there at the Emirates. Looked like Arsenal are going to get a 3 points. Spurs kept coming back. The second goal, the penalty, Spurs came back again. The same formation, the same guys, Maddison to Son for the first goal. The second goal, Maddison to Son. What is going on with Pestelogu's team?
Well, and the moment they got the equalizer, and the first thing that came to mind was no Kane. No problem.
No Kane,
no problem. You would have thought probably the departure of Harry Kane to Bayern Munich would have caused Tottenham a lot of problems.
I didn't see it coming.
And they also have they have a new manager who has so far has been doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Last season it took them like half of the season before they started picking points. But so far this season they've been doing very well. And if they can keep up the momentum, remember in back some years back, we were always talking about top 4.
It's top 6 now.
Now we're talking about top 6. Well, with the way things are going, we might probably be talking about top 8. Because Aston Villa are also giving people a run for their money.
Of course, they have a top manager.
And now you also have Newcastle, who are also doing very well.
Newcastle scored 8 goals and nobody scored 2.
Well,
this is one game.
Okay,
I think
they made history. That's the first time in the history
that
of the Premier League
and scored 8 goals
that you have different
goal scorers.
Different scorers. It was.
What are they cooking there in Newcastle? What is Eddie Howe cooking?
When you have money, you can cook anything. When you have money, you can cook anything.
Some people have money in that same London.
Well,
in that same United Kingdom, the blue side of London, and they are cooking rubbish.
Well, trust me, a lot of Chelsea fans, they are hungry at the moment, but they also agree with you. They've spent money.
By
Chelsea are the club that have spent the most money.
$1 billion.
Close to $1 billion. They spent 950 million pounds. Wow. And yet, where are they on the table?
Unknown names, Chukwuemeka and the likes. They have 5 points from 6 games.
Yeah, that's the difference between between Guardiola and every other manager.
True.
Guardiola, he knows how to spend the money.
True.
Even if look how much he got Alan for. Less than 50 million pounds.
They say that one is official.
Well, at least that's what we have on record.
Yes, reports have it that it was bigger than that with the payment for his dad as agent.
But let's go with the official report that we have. And he spent less than 50 million.
He has a way of getting all these boys together. Look at Doku, look at Alvarez, not necessarily superstars. Look at Calvin Phillips.
Yes, I think probably apart from Grealish, would they spent so much money, and I don't think for me, trust me, Grealish was not worth that amount.
Of course,
100 million, way too much. Way too much. But let's see, how it's going to pan out. But the Premier League, trust me, one of the probably the most interesting leagues across Europe. But it's living up to billing again this season.
All right, very quickly we move to the youth games, the Nigerian youth games, where I think this is beautiful. This is wonderful. We have kids coming up to partake in the youth games, in swimming, it's a whole lot going down there at the Nigerian youth games. But there was something that was controversial. The Ekiti team had in their opening parade, a lot of persons were screaming on social media, which is an embarrassment. Why are our own people, why are our own guys looking like this? Why are they dressed in this manner? Why are they wearing close to slippers? Why don't they look uniform? Why are their attires looking? And then the governor had to recall the commissioner to come and explain back home. Personally, this is not a political show, but that is perhaps good for the game, because when you are not doing what you're expected to do, there should be sanctions. However, very quickly, controversy again have come up on social media as regarding the swimming team of Lagos State. There are about 10 of them, and 9 of them are from private, posh private schools. Only one of them is from a public school. And people said, in the past, when you talk about sports, you go to public schools. You go and pick them in their raw form. You go to Row Park, children after school that come to swim, that come to do sports. But what is happening? It looks like now we are going to these private schools to go and pick kids to come and perform. Do you agree with that school of thought?
Yeah, no, I totally disagree. Yeah, no, back in the days, like you said, there was this belief that, okay, children of, from poor background, venture into sports. But the narrative has changed. It has changed. It's not changing.
It has changed completely.
And let's be honest with ourselves. To play golf, it costs a lot of money.
Of course.
Do you know how much it costs to get the kits? It's a whole lot of money. Someone attending one community school out there or one grammar school, the parent might not be able to afford such kits. Now let's come to the swimming part. It's one thing to know how to float. It's another thing to know how to swim. The techniques involved
in swimming.
And these things are being taught in some schools. And even I got to understand that, I learned that even some schools now, they made it is now mandatory that parents
must pay for swimming lessons.
These are done in private schools. So it didn't come to me as a big surprise that we have children from how do you call it, the high profile school, representing Lagos at the youth games, in the swimming competition. For me, I think parents of those students should even be happy that their investment is beginning to yield forth.
So what happens to those ones without investment?
Well, I think that's where the government will also need to play their own part, because the truth of the matter is a lot is going on. And okay, now when how do you tell a hungry child to go swimming,
to go for sports?
It's a lot. It's a whole lot. Well, if we want to start this topic right now, we'll probably spend the whole day talking about it. But for me, I don't think the children picked by Lagos State to represent them in the swimming their swimming team. For me, I want to believe that they are probably or arguably the best that they could produce.
All right, medals have already been won at the youth games. It's a Swiss one for me. For what is more interesting to me as a person is that these are secondary school children. These are real kids. These are young ones.
Yeah.
No, there's no. You won't find an adult in a secondary school.
Yes.
So if they are coming out of secondary school straight into the youth games, they can take most of those guys. The national teams of various sports can take them in. And who knows, in the next 15, 20 years, 10, 15, probably even 5 years, we might be grooming some of the best sportsmen the world has ever seen. Very quickly, we'll be moving over to Formula One, where Max Verstappen won the Chinese Grand Prix. And it is official, with 26 points, he's leading the others, and he has won for Red Bull. Yes, for Red Bull, they have won. The beautiful thing is, just a few years ago, as far back as, I think, was that 2018? Yes, 2018. About 5 years ago, Max Verstappen was just a hot-headed young man with talent. That was all he was, hot-headed young driver with talent. And people kept telling him, young man, keep out your hot head, take your job seriously, just like this young lady for the United States that was Sha'Carri Jackson. And that was what people were telling him. Look at him now. He's winning. I mean, the days of Lewis Hamilton is clearly over now. There was a day when Sebastian Vettel and the likes were the big boys. Look at him now. Max Verstappen has won with 26 points. He has already won. It's confirmed.
Yeah, it's confirmed.
And he has won the championship.
His victory yesterday was his 13th victory in 2023. So which already places him way above every other person. And it also helps to end Mercedes' dominance.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over.
Or it looks over.
So I think it's a good one for him. Is like you made mention earlier, he's been working hard over the years to get to where he is today, and I'm happy for him. All he needs to do now is just to build on that success. But trust me, you can't totally rule out Hamilton. Yes, Hamilton not the same he used to be in the past.
Of course, he has used his better years.
He still got it inside of him, and you never can tell. maybe this might just be a wake-up call for him, and next year we'll just be back and better.
All right, very quickly, let's check our FPL, the Fantasy Premier League of our organization here. I think we have about 20 fantastic players that play the FPL in-house here. If you're a fan of the English Premier League, you know the side attraction is the Fantasy Premier League, where you have 100 million official, 100 million pounds, online pounds though. Nobody has that money in reality when it comes to the Fantasy Premier League. 100 million pounds online for you to buy 15 players, and then you set your team, and then at the end of the day, at the end of 38 games, there comes a winner. So we have our own league here, and we are going to be giving you the results for the week. Amid Fateh Ayolani had 70 points and is topping for the week. He's number one on the spot with 383 points in total after 8 points. Some Manchester City doings right there. And Shegun, yours truly, with Damsey FC, he had 63 points with 364 points. A few points, not a few points, so 83 to 64, wow. About 20 points plus, less than the first position. And Providence, Dekunle Abdulrazak, Providence FC is doing well in third position. 72 points overall this week and 357 overall. We are 16 in the entire league. But from the man that is currently last, is he a man or a woman? Is a man. Ayola Olashukpo has 75 points, but he's just coming into the league. Gani Oshinubi has continued to swim in relegation waters. It doesn't look like he's escaping out of that place soon, because he has 53 points, 184 in total, and that is it. Wonder Akimbo is somewhere down to Makwa Ebube. These are fantastic guys that play FPL mostly with their mouth, but when it comes to doing it in reality, they are in relegation waters. Enito Daramola is somewhere chilling close to relegation spots. It has been a fantastic package here on behalf of the entire team. Melanie Shola pressing the right buttons in the studio. My producer Sulaimon Adeni. I can see Margaret Osazu somewhere in the house as well. And Olalekan Olabode Dada, yes, also known as Johnny Bravo, right here, ensuring that myself and Ebenezer Bajela are doing great things in front of the screen. We are here because you are there. On behalf of everyone, I'm Shegun saying bye and have a fantastic week ahead. God bless you. Say we don't finish.